Hello, my name is Dale Wilhite. I'm right now living in Alpine, Wyoming. If you want to find out anything about me, go to MySpace, Facebook, or Twitter where I have accounts. This idea I came up with this morning, and it's an idea which will help, I hope, would stop entirely, but at least prevent a lot of American kids from being kidnapped here in the United States. And the kidnappers are Muslim males who have married American women, and in which they get a divorce, and somehow, some way, these Muslim fathers kidnap their kids, get them on a plane, and get them back to Saudi Arabia, or Yemen, or Iran, or Iraq, and Indonesia. And under their laws, primarily, those kids will never be cannot be sent back to America. This is even in the case in America where an American court has given custody to the mother. And because of the oil thing, that's why our government doesn't really do anything to get American kids that are being held against their will. And of course, many of them are adults now in nations like Saudi Arabia. And that's where they were kidnapped by the fathers after, again, the separation or divorce from the American mother here in the United States. And they were taken back to Saudi Arabia, and now they will have to spend the rest of their life there. They cannot leave the country, and they will be the property of some Muslim guy for the rest of their lives. As I said, we have a spineless government that doesn't know what to do about this. We can't seem to put any pressure on them to stop this. So here's my idea to possibly stop this. And I wish President Bush had done this. But again, I just came up with an idea this morning. But it's kind of funny. I can come up with numerous ideas, and nobody in government seems to know how to do stuff like that anymore. And those who do have new ideas, they're just not interested in listening. Again, I'm going to just pitch the foundation of the idea. It still needs a lot of work. There's still a lot of, well, what about this and what about that and under what circumstances? That still has to be worked out. So I'm just going to lay the foundation for the idea. And it's relatively simple. Our government needs to enter into a treaty in which countries like Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Kuwait, I don't think Iran's going to sign it, but maybe Iraq and Indonesia, Lebanon, Syria, in which if one of their nationals, their Muslim men, comes to America, marries an American woman, they have children, there is a divorce, and the father flees to their nation with the kids in an attempt to make sure they can't ever come back to the United States, or that the mother can never see him again or have custody, they would, under this treaty, be required to return those kids. If these countries refuse to sign or enter into such a treaty, then here in the United States, a marriage between a foreign Muslim man from these particular nations, and of course it may be all the nations of the world, as far as I know, will not be recognized by the United States government, and meaning that they cannot marry. Because if we allow them to marry, as sure as there's a God in heaven, if they get a divorce, that Muslim man, according to the Quran, is obligated to take his kids and get them back to the country from which he came from. And that means kidnap them. That's a crime. You can't not kidnap even your own kids. That's still a crime. If the courts give the custody to the mother, then the mother has right to the children. Our government is doing nothing to stop this. That's why I warn all women in America who marry foreign men who are Muslim that if you have kids, you marry him and have kids, mom, he may try to kidnap your kids if there's a divorce or separation. So if you like the idea, I really would appreciate it if you would pitch it to other people who might be able to make this a reality, your politicians, or your congressional representative, groups that are fighting for children's rights, and the organizations like that. You can do so on the internet if you got the time. And I'm doing the best that I can on all the ideas that I have, but I have so many, it's hard to get around to dealing with all of them. But this idea, if it became a reality, could possibly help stop a lot of the kidnapping. Because if a Muslim man wants to marry an American woman here, a foreign Muslim man wants to marry an American woman here, but his marriage will not be recognized, or it's not legal unless his nation has signed a treaty that if they marry, have kids, and he kidnaps these kids during the separation or divorce, won't bring them back, that the government is obligated to send the police in to take those kids and return them. Well, if that country won't do that, then it doesn't do him any good to marry an American woman, because the marriage would not be legal. Whether that's constitutional or not is another matter. That's part of the problem here. I don't know if the government can legally do that. So if they can't, the best weapon then is to make sure that all women in this country are aware of what can happen if they marry a foreign Muslim national. You could possibly have your kids kidnapped and they could live in slavery for the rest of their lives in some foreign Muslim country. And they will be forced to be Muslim whether they want to be or not. It's as simple as that. Thank you for your time.